Hi, Felipe.
Hi, I'm Felipe.
I'm Lon. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You want to have a seat?
Sure.
I see you brought a resume.
Yeah, this is just a copy of the same resume with a cover letter attached for you.
Awesome, thank you.
No problem.
I'll hold on to that. All right, so you applied for the technical support analyst position.
Yep, I did.
I'd like to start out by having you share a little bit about your interest in that position.
Okay.
What we're looking for is someone who can work well with others, resolve issues quickly, good communication, works well as a team. Do you feel like that's a good fit for you?
Definitely. Well, with the technical support analyst, you know, it's a job that's really important to any company. You know, you want your IT systems to be in line. It helps you with your data management, your information management, and you know, I feel like I work really well with others through my schoolwork at UW. That was a big part of getting through it. You know, you had to collaborate with others throughout the IT program and learning how to create and manage databases. And I feel like I learned a lot from that, and I think I was a big help to the people I worked with, or at least I really hope I was. You know, I did my best to be a functioning part of the team, and I feel like I have a good amount of knowledge. I bring a lot to the table, and I really like working with others too. You know, I think there's a lot to be learned when you pair up with other people, and helps with problem solving, and it's just a lot more fun than, you know, being by yourself all day and
Definitely
being in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. What led you to this position?
Well, I wanted to work at a company that was around in Milwaukee. A lot of people graduate and they decide to get out of town quickly, but you know, I'm from here. I was born and raised in Milwaukee. I really love the city. I actually really enjoy database development, and I know that healthcare is a field that's booming, and being that you guys specialize in information management in the healthcare field, it just sort of captured a lot of my interest in one. And again, being that it's close to home, I just feel like could be a really good fit for me there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, Milwaukee's a great city.
Yeah, man, I absolutely love it here. You know.
So I take it. My next question is gonna be: are you willing to work as a team or more independently? But it sounds like you can go both ways as a team player, or do you think you have good leadership?
Definitely. You know, I think for anyone who tries to work in a leadership role, it's important to be very flexible. You have to be available to meet everyone's needs, but you still have to try and work towards a goal for the group. And so I don't mind being in an independent position or a leadership role, or being sort of more of a part of a team under leadership. You know, I really prize flexibility above all, and you know, I'd be comfortable doing whatever's needed from me. But I think that when I'm called upon, I can be a very strong leader for the people that I'm working with.
Awesome, awesome. On your resume, it says you currently work as an intern at Outpost Natural Foods.
Yes.
And you've been there for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe some of the responsibilities you have there?
Yeah, it's a sort of a general IT job. I've actually been with Outpost a lot longer, but I noticed that they needed some IT people at their central offices downtown. So I applied for the position, and I left one of their locations in Bayview to go there. And what I've been doing is basically information management of all sorts, setting up databases to manage customer information, purchase totals, you know, just all sorts of retail information that can help them make decisions on things like who to purchase from, when to run particular sales, those sorts of things. So there's been that, and then there's also been sort of the front-end user interaction stuff that I'm dealing with, like setting up computer systems, setting up point-of-sale intervals, dealing with things like Wi-Fi hotspots and stuff like that, making sure all of our tech is working and running the way it's supposed to when I'm not doing the database stuff.
Awesome. So it sounds like you're pretty knowledgeable with IT.
Well, you know, I came into school really I didn't know anything about it, and so I've learned a lot while I was at UWM. And it's just been a lot of practice, you know. So I hope, you know, I think I have a pretty solid base, and it's one of those things that the field's just exploding. So you know, you got to stay on it. You have to constantly be reading and learning and talking to other people who are in the field. But you know, I try to have a grasp on it as much as possible.
So can you tell me about a project or a task at your current position that you found stood out as more challenging?
Sure. I remember we had an issue with our scales in one location that they weren't connecting with our network properly, which was affecting sales because they had to be up to date so that they have the proper pricing information, proper sales information for whatever is weighed on them. You know, it's very important to have accurate information because if you don't, that's obviously illegal on one end, but just, you know, for customer satisfaction and stuff. So these scales are old and they were patched into our new network and they weren't cooperating. So we had to go, you know, from our central location out into the field back and forth several times to try and attach them to the network and to get them to behave properly so that they could be useful for us so that we didn't have to replace them because they're not cheap. So it's to our benefit to try and get them on board with our new network and to get them to work. And it took a while and there's a lot of troubleshooting, but we got it done after a while. So that was a lot of fun actually.
Yeah, well, that's good. And was that more of on your own, or did you work that as a team?
When I was at the locations, I was by myself, but I had people in the central offices that I was talking to, you know, every 15, 20 minutes as we were troubleshooting. So there was a lot of interaction between myself and two other people back at the office. But when I was in the field, I was unsupervised.
What would you say you gained from overcoming that challenge?
A lot of patience. It was really, really, really tricky, actually. I mean, it was just frustrating. And there was a time crunch, too, because the longer those scales are out of commission, the more you're pushing back the work of the people in the store because they have to weigh things and put them out for sale. And, you know, as stuff is selling and they can't stock those items, you know, you don't want to upset customers by not having things in stock. You don't want to back up the people who are counting on that item to work. So there was a lot of pressure to get it done. So just, you know, being frustrated, working through it, trying to try another fix. So that was a big practice in patience for me.
Yeah, yeah. Would you say that's probably your big accomplishment in this internship? Or are there any other ones that stood out?
I think that's probably the biggest one, just because again it was such a tricky situation, and there's so much back and forth and a lot riding on it as far as getting those things to work as quick as possible. That was probably the most, like I said, the most pressure-packed situation that I had to deal with at one time. So I am pretty proud of that.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So as the technical support analyst, you'd be expected to work under the direction of an IT administrator.
Sure.
You'd be responsible for maintaining, analyzing, and troubleshooting computer systems, software, hardware, and peripherals. You'd collaborate closely with the IT administrator and other staff members to ensure these issues are resolved quickly. Do you feel like you're prepared to meet those expectations?
Yeah, I definitely think I can. You know, I know whenever you start a job anywhere, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but you know, I'm more than happy to give it a shot, and I believe I can definitely do that stuff.
What do you think would be your strong suit out of all those?
I would have to say my strong suit is probably just, you know, my ability to, you know, show up and do the work. You know, a lot of people, you know, they're not where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be. They're, you know,
Overall work ethic.
Yeah, exactly. I show up on time. I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to learn because, you know, again with IT, you're always learning on the fly, and you know, there's always stuff to pick up. So I mean, I'm always gonna be where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there, ready to go.
Yeah, that's great. Which one do you think you have any big struggles?
You know, sometimes it can be frustrating. You know, it's when you think you got something just right, and then it turns out you're completely wrong. You've got to keep going through the steps to try and figure something out. Especially with IT, you know, if you're, you know, if I'm a support analyst, for example, I mean, there could be the smallest little problem. You know, there could be one cable somewhere that's not plugged in behind a wall that you can't see. It could be anything. So, you know, dealing with frustration is always tough, you know, and I'm getting better at that, and I think I can handle it. But, you know, it's part of the job, and, you know, sometimes it can be a little frustrating. But, you know, like I said, I'll just do my best and stick it out and try to keep learning and growing in the position.
Yeah. We're looking for someone with at least 3 years of experience, and on your resume it says you have 1. Do you think what do you have to offer that you think makes up for that difference? What do you have that can you compete with someone that has the 3 years experience?
I think I can because, since I'm fresh out of school, or I will be, our education is really on the cutting edge of information technology. So I think that gives me a leg up compared to someone who's in the field because if you're in the field and if you're working in a particular position, you may not have to continue learning because you're just in that one position.
Yeah.
But when you're in school, you're, at least at UWM, we have a great IT program. We're on the cutting edge of these things, and so I'm fresh out of school, and I do have that experience in the field on top of it. So I think that I'm ready to go, and I think I have a good, solid base of knowledge to work from.
All right.
That's very current.
As far as this position goes, which aspect of it are you most excited about?
Well, I'm actually really excited that it's tied into healthcare because right now it's sort of a timely thing where there are a lot of healthcare laws changing, and a lot of people are going to be changing policies or adapting, and workplaces are going to have to accommodate those things. And so just being in a field where information technology is already so current and relevant, but adding to that the healthcare aspect, I just think that it's exciting to be at the forefront of these two fields that are very important right now at our time.
And so where would you like to be 5 years from now?
Well, 5 years from now, I'd still like to be in Milwaukee. As far as Helix goes, I've heard a lot of good things. I know that when I was reading about the company, it's one of the top 100 employers in Wisconsin on a consistent basis. So, I'll just, see where it goes. I mean, I'd like to move up in the company, absolutely. I don't have any plans on moving or going anywhere else. I want to stay here and raise my family here. So, maybe one day I'll be an IT administrator or something like that. And, I look forward to that.
That's good. So Helix is a place you could see yourself in the long term?
Absolutely.
If you had the opportunity to move up?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's, there's, I like to, where as I worked through college, I've worked for Outpost for a few years. Before that, the last company I was with for 8 years. And so, I like to get comfortable, and I like to sort of settle into a place. I don't like moving around too much, I enjoy the variety of the job. I don't want to, go through the hassle of finding another job once I land, especially a place that I really like.
Yeah, definitely. So compensation, we generally start new employees out at about $50,000 a year.
All right.
How does that sit with you, or what do you expect in the future?
That sounds great. At my current job, I was earning just under that. They do have a good benefits package, and they did take very, very good care of me. But that sounds very good to me, and I'd be excited to take that and see what happens.
All right. Well, that's pretty much all I have for you. Do you have any questions for me about the position?
Yeah. Well, I was wondering, is this a position that you plan to be adding several candidates, or are you just going to be adding one or two?
I think right now we're open to a few.
Okay.
It's
so
not just one person.
All right. You're in a good hiring phase right now. Then.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're taking on a lot of new people.
Oh, that's great, man. Also, when do you think I could hear back from you, or do you anticipate?
Probably within a week or two.
Okay.
We're actually going to, after the first interview, I like to set up an interview between you and the IT administrator you'd be working under.
Okay.
And he'll interview you and see if you're a good match. And
Okay.
then, based on that, decide if we're going to bring you on or not.
All right.
So what I'm going to have you do is call back tomorrow, and we'll set that up.
Absolutely, man.
And then we'll go from there.
All right, great. That sounds good. I'll give you a call tomorrow, man. I look forward to talking to you.
Thanks for coming in.
All right. Thank you so much.
Nice meeting you.
Really nice to meet you, too. Take care.